Hello? 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 Am I coming through? Is the audio audioing? Is the mic miking? Is the stream indeed streaming? Cool, cool, cool. Daz, Haran, Queco, Connor, hello, hello. Nice. Okay, right. Well, new stream. Julian, thank you for already filing a bug report. I do appreciate it. I will go through the code, but what you've observed is exactly what is supposed to happen, which is big fat nothing, because the bit it's supposed to do we'll do together. No, hello. No, hello. Siege, hello. Cool. Okay. Armor and Kara, hello. Exciting times. Indeed, new project. Great chance to jump in on something new. We're gonna do something new and fun. It's still going to be modern C++. It's still going to be modern as you can get OpenGL. Got a new modern build system. Exciting. Much fancier infrastructure setup. Totally new build system. No more MSVC wine. I'm sure you'd be sad to hear. Still near Vim and Tmux. No, I'm going to just slap out some FPS stuff and do a modern-ish deferred render. And not worry too much about how to cover up level and just render everything and hope for the best. Cool. Okay. Right. Well, off to a good start. So yeah, the plan is I've done a little bit off stream just to set up the build system. I've set up. I brought over a bunch of utils from the previous project that I know was going to need, like logging and the exceptions and the ensure stuff. All this like auto handle, all that kind of stuff. Well, I'll get into the build system in just a second, but yeah, I brought over a load of stuff and basically just kind of got it going. So fantastic. Let's code. Is this font? I've completely forgotten what font size I had it on before because I literally, after the last stream finished, I destroyed everything. So hopefully this is legible. This is all it does at the moment. So we've still got the auto-generated config file. So this is still from before. Someone's already redeemed. Dad's already redeemed. Right, remind me at the end. I'll make sure you get a comment of your choice. So there's new Twitch rewards now as well. So you can slowly start influencing things at the cost of some fake internet points. But remind me that I owe you a comment because I will forget because this is new. Okay, so we got this. So this prints out the version, and then I brought over the system info stuff from last time. So this is basically the same. All the WMI stuff. Queco got first. Congratulations. Javier 7227. Hello. I see, they gotta get the first in. So the comments and the what the other one was, commits, they're going to be like redeemable one every like few streams rather than doing them one every stream. So keep an eye on those when I reset them. So all the WMI stuff, that's all the same. I think I had to change like maybe a minor tweak, but nothing worth writing home about. I have we can have a look here. So I've got a bunch of utils. So we've got auto release, we've got the com release, we've got the error, the exception, the formatter. That needs to go. That's some old setup stuff. Log, the infamous logging from the last project. System info, text widen I've renamed to text utils, and that has the UTF-8 to UTF-16 gubbins. Then everything else is pretty standard CMake setup. We've got the same CPAC stuff as before, the same CTest stuff as before, but what we have now is a Dockerized build system. So I'm now using G++ 15.2 and MinGW. So I can still cross-compile on Linux and run on Windows, but the whole build system is now reproducible. So I did not write it, I found this on the internet. So this will basically create a build system, and then there's a checked-in makefile, which will allow you to build the Docker image, configure it, build it, run it, test it, pack it, extract if you need to, because my build system, NeoVim, needs access to some of the headers that are in the Docker container, so this will copy them out, and then a clean. So this is basically it. So we can do make run, and this will spin up, this will use that Docker image, build it in the Docker image, but make it available outside, and this is what it does at the moment. So yeah, that's basically what we've got, and then make test. So let's make tests. So this runs gtest, which is nice. I did add a few extra tests. What tests did I add, which was for error tests. So this has one of my favorite gtest macros in it. Is it this one? Yeah, expect death. So this will check that the expect function does indeed terminate the process, which is quite nice. It's always fun to expect death. It's just going to be a small FPS. It's going to be a micro FPS. It's going to be a micro FPS, but I didn't want to use the micro symbol everywhere because I figured it might mess up certain tooling and pathing and stuff. So it's micro FPS where it makes sense, and it's UFPS where it also makes sense. Indeed, no MSVC and wine this time. G++ has pretty much the same library support as MSVC at the moment for 23 and 26, and a few more 26 features. So yeah, I think we're good. We're going to start. So my plan today is hang on. Can I see? Give me a second. Yeah, yes, I should have had this. Ready to go, but alas, I did not. Okay, ooh, steady. Okay, so there is. Why is that? Like that. Okay, fine. So there's all on GitHub. Oh, you can do. I've updated the. Let's get some engagement going. I think you can do Bang Code, and it will give you a link to this. You can do Bang Discord, Bang Ret. All the usual ones are there, but I've just updated them slightly. And my plan is to keep this fully up to date as we're doing it. So there'll be no extra repo. There's no extra release repo. It's all driven via this. I also have a GitHub project, which I think is private. But this is basically a list of all the things. So I've got a top level list of things I want to do for this project, and I will add more as I think of them. And then I'm going to try and keep track of like the tech debt and the bugs and stuff as we do them, just so maybe every few streams we can try and burn through some of this. Yeah, FPS, first person shooter. So this is the plan. So today we're going to, and I've got, this is like the bare minimum Kanban board. There's no even like doing, like it either needs to be done or it's done. It's pretty binary state in my world. There's no, oh, I'm currently doing it. So we're going to try and get a basic window going today, and we'll see how far we get. And this is going to be largely porting the window code over from the previous project. I thought about doing this off stream, but actually it's quite a meaty bit of Windows code. So it's probably worth us reviewing it, maybe updating some parts that we didn't like, generally refactoring it, figuring out how it's all going to work. So yeah. My general plan for this is to do basically the majority of everything live, but I will allow myself the small luxury of doing a bit of tidy up or cleanup work off stream. I want to keep things a little bit more better documented. So I'll try and do that off stream, but all features, all big bug fixes, that will be done live. Okay, fine. So I'm going to try and do a bit more Git on this one as well. So let's do like, gonna, and you'll see why. So the plan is I just want like a vertical slice of an FPS game. So the top level features will be a renderer using like a deferred renderer with light volumes and ASDO. Get more into that as we go through. Physics engine, character controller. I want to do animation. I want to do rigging. I want to do like a dynamic decal system. And then the usual post-processing stuff that we did most of last time, SSAO, Bloom, HDR, all that kind of gubbins. I want a better material system this time, and then I want kind of audio and basic gameplay. The idea is you should be able to walk around like a map, shoot something that is animated, and then it die and ragdoll. That's kind of it. Like, it's not going to be the best game to play, but there's going to be a lot of interesting technical things within that. Be no ECS. I will not have nearly enough entities to warrant that. Will be multi-threaded this time though, so be prepared for some fun concurrency issues. We will be writing a multi-threaded job system at some point because I want to be able to distribute work across all the cores and then kind of coalesce it back together. I don't know. I would pay the $100 Steam tax if I thought it was worth sharing. So we'll kind of see how it goes. Yeah, let's start. So I guess actually so you can see I was copying some. Where in the previous project actually? Where did the window class live, and did I like that? So it was in graphics. Okay, so let's make the source. Right, new graphics. Actually, I want to keep things better organized this time as well, because I kind of let that get a little bit away from me last time. So let's copy. There's going to be quite a lot to copy over because we're going to need all the events as well. But we'll see how we get on. So, is it not? Ooh, where did I? Oh no, fine. Just shoved it straight in source. See, this is what I'm talking about. Take those, bring those over to source graphics to come in there. Let's open up the source graphics make lists.txt. I wanted to have slightly better tooling set up this time, but unfortunately ASAN does not work with MinGW, so we're just going to be flying a little bit blind on that, which is a little bit of a shame. What can you do? Just don't write memory corruption errors, I guess, is probably the simplest solution to that. Stick that in there. Clang, no Clang tidy, but Clang format is set up. Bunch of GCC flags, C++23. Like, there's nothing too new or exciting in here. This is basically a lift and shift of the previous one, but made for G++. Why MinGW? Because I still want to cross compile. I want to cross compile for Windows, and I want to use basically a more C++23 complete thing than Clang, so it doesn't really leave me a lot of options. You need std_c exp for std stack trace to work in GCC. It's technically, although it is officially supported, it is in 15. It still needs their experimental library, which is a little bit of a shame. I'm hoping they've fixed that in 16. I plan on keeping up to date with the GCC releases as well, so we can get access to the new stuff. Sure, but then the issue is, like, I still want to use, like, I guess my requirements are a little bit niche because I want to use NeoVim and tmux. And I basically want to be in Linux, but cross-compile for Windows, but have full 23 support. And I don't want to use Wine anymore. So possibly, like, this is what I ended up with because I wanted to Dockerize it as well, and if it's easier to Dockerize the Linux system. So that was kind of the other requirement, is I wanted a reproducible build system. Maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe it can't be worse than what we had before. Also, there's like 1,000 ways of doing everything, and this is what I've picked. I think there's another Nightbot command for this, actually. Give me a second. If you do bang setup, I've got a blurb on this. Well, this is it. I'm hoping it'd be slightly more slightly less terrible than last time. Although I did have good fun with it last time. Also, it builds faster as well. There you go. Okay, let's just build it. Like, it's gonna have the wrong names. I suppose we could at least let's at least update the namespace. So this is now UFPS. We don't have the event system yet, so that's not going to work. So that's fine. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot we got to bring in here. Okay, this is going to be. What I might do is I might just like not OpenGL this to start with, because you can create the window fine, and then like all this gubbins might just comment out for now and just see if we can get the window working without worrying about OpenGL. I don't know how much more work it's going to be. I suppose you're just going to call GL clear and swap at the end of it. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure a more modern language has a better toolchain. That doesn't surprise me at all. But I don't want to use Rust. I want to use C++, and so I'm stuck with the legacy that entails. Okay, so this is not gonna work for us, which is fine. This is gonna be a little bit of a lift and shift code and fix it as we go along. So okay, fine. Right, we're going to have to bring over the events code. I want to review this anyway, because there's a few bits and pieces I didn't like from the last one. So, I think I still want all of these events. Or at least I'm going to eventually want all these events. Source events. So, FG, CMake, ABCDEFG. And then let's have a look at the top level events. So this is still fine. Include power key not found. How did I? Where's? What? Have I put that somewhere else in the old project? Key was separate. What? Why? Is it because it was going to use it as part of Windows? I wonder if I wrote it in Windows first, as in the window class first. Key is the key code class. I still feel it should be part of event though. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed. Sorry, I'm mad. Yeah, everything, all the windowing, all the events, all that kind of stuff, all the render is all going to be my own code, or our own code. So I think this is kind of fine. The only thing I don't like about this, and I want to change, is that to check if a key event has a key and state, this should, rather than doing key equals key and state equals state, I want like a top level function which is just like is. I guess I could have just used the operator equals and just constructed a new one. I wonder if that would have been better. I mean, you should use GLFW and all that. You should, or STL, you should absolutely use all that. It's just not fun for me. Like, there's no sense of it not being good enough. It is 100% better than the code I'm going to write, but I want to write it. Okay, fine. Let's go game source key.h. I'm going to stick this in events because I feel like it belongs there anyway. Okay, fine. So that is surprisingly okay now. Key. Yes, all the key codes, or at least some of them. Yes, I only did the ones that I needed, so I did up to Z, and then I was like space and F1. What What more could you need? So that will go in there. That will go in there. Key state. It's also here. That's fine. That's fine. Using that. FPS. Nice. Okay. Okay, fine. So if we go up to the top level event, this should right. Stop event. Oops. Mouse event. Oops. And I don't need that anymore. It's all looking good. Mouse event. Mouse event in the CPPs. UFPS. That's all good. All good. Mouse button event in the UFPS. And the mouse button event in the UFPS. And then do I use it? I do. Okay. And then the CMake that I would have dragged over with this will also be wrong. Because that should be now UFPS lib. I mean, from scratch doesn't mean OpenGL. Like I'm not writing a software renderer. Yeah, I mean, from scratch is take a certain little bit of an artistic license with that phrase. Okay, is this just gonna build? Nope. Okay, so window doesn't like key because that's now in events. That's fine. Right, solve that problem. Also, apparently doesn't need it at all. So, jeez, that's in events. That's in utils. I need to bring over OpenGL.h. You're right. It should have been in Scratch, the visual language, the visual programming language. You're right. I'm a liar. Game source graphics OpenGL. Source graphics. I think. Oh yes. Our list of Welsh town names is back, and it's going to only grow. So I resolve my own OpenGL functions as well using the wiggle functions, and this is probably the only macro I will use, or I plan on using in the entire code base, just because there is no modern C++ equivalent to replace it yet, where I want to define a list of things the X macro, right? I need to bring over the third-party stuff as well. I want to define these once, and then be able to enumerate it here to define them as a symbol, so inline them. And then I want to be able to enumerate them in the Windows code, which we'll see in a minute, to set them. So that's it. CPR game third party. Is it just third party? Bring that in here. I might need to update CMake to see that. Oh, okay. Do I really not need that? So if we go to window and then... No, I do need that. Because this is one of the few places where I allow transitive includes, including OpenGL.h should include every OpenGL header that you need, including the third-party ones. So I will allow this here. Again, the weird resolution of the OpenGL stuff is where I do make a few concessions on my usual style, just because there are some tricks in there to make life a little bit easier, but by and large, I try and keep them confined to that. Okay, so fine. Now that we've got these, we've got our puff and wiggle choose pixel format and our puff and wiggle create context. Blah, 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 blah. So there's going to be a lot of game that needs changing to FPS here. It's going to do these one by one just so I can check. And then we'll top the bottom of this code and see what it, remind ourselves. I've got to remind myself what it does. Okay. Yes, indeed. Google Auto Captions. It's a good one. Private Canto Gym Leader. Tricky one. Brock is a classic. Hard to go wrong. But yeah. I'm trying to remember all the names, to be honest. Oh, that is some error message there. Oh, we've started. A Python script will start executing from the top to the bottom, but if you want to make it so that it only invokes a function like when you issue it from the command line and not automatically when you like include it, then you need to do the if done the name, done the main trick that sort of tells you, gives you an indication of where it's running from. Key event. Key event does not name a type. Sure, I mean, if you... that's fine. I don't think I need the formatter. Oh, no, I should probably do that. Okay. Let's try again. That was slightly less. No, it wasn't. That's... I know this is a cascading error, but, like, this all looks terrifying. Don't know why I'm using the mouse. It's like a chump. Right. OpenGL debug enabled is not a member of UFPS config. That's right. How did I change this? Did I make these VS? So the config file is automatically generated for us. Interesting. Okay, fine. This was something we added right at the end to the last project to allow us to toggle on at build time debugging. What was it called? Setup debug. Here we go. So let's do config in, and let's do... I'm just going to set all these to true because we're going to want them. OpenGL debug enabled. And when we configure it, that will go through to the header file, and it's no longer a function because we're not reading it from anywhere. So let's give that a try. Wow. To be fair, like if you put the wrong thing through std out, like even in a Hello World program, you can get quite the continuous stream of nonsense. Right. Okay. Right. scanner. That looks like a std format error to me. It is interesting. You going to tell me where from? From Windows CPP 5. I think 5 is... a bit worrying. Why is it failing on including that? Maybe I'll fix something I can actually... oh, required from here. Here we go, 329. Obviously, the line where it says the error is not the line where it gets the error. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's curious about this is that this compiles under MSVC. So we've hit our first real difference between GCC and MSVC where they disagree on something. Which of these does it not like? I wonder. I'm going to suspect it's going to be this. Nope. Mode. I'm just selectively replacing them with things I know it can print. Like I know it can print 0. Hang on, wrong order. Yeah. Okay, so is it... so it's mode, which does suggest I've just not included the format, which I've not. Okay. Let me go through what that means and how I figured that out. Utils. So as part of the last project, I wanted to make it easier to print things out. As in, well, use std format, right? So std format is the C++ 20 way of formatting strings now, and there's println, which came in 23. Sorry, format was 20. And you can write custom formatters for your types, but it's a bit of a pain, right? It's a lot of boilerplate. You have to implement this struct here and have a pass and a format and what a whole load of horror this is. So I wrote what's called a CPO, customization point object, which basically you include this header file, and if you try and format a object, if it has a toString member method, like here, or it has a free function called toString that takes that object, it will automatically call that and pass that into the formatter. So this just kind of makes things a little bit easier. So now any object I want to print out, all I have to do is have a toString method. Because it's a free function, it means you can also do it for enums, and then you can print it. The only caveat is you have to include this header, otherwise it can't see the CPO, and then it can't figure out what to do. So we're going to be selecting, sorry, a bunch of questions here. I preface stuff with the double colon because it means it accesses it from the global namespace. That kind of has two implications. One, when I hit it, it instantly starts the autocomplete, which is nice. But the other is just like a visual cue to me that it's something I didn't write. So any platform stuff or third-party stuff, I personally start from the global namespace, and then I know when I'm glancing through that this is kind of code that was written elsewhere. Oh no, no! I thought I'm gonna be smart this time. I've set up my Stream Deck to have a button which will write a timestamp to a file. So whenever I say something that I think will be useful short, I can press it, and I've just pressed it and it's popped up with an error. So I guess no shorts out of this one, because I do want to get back onto the shorts, but I do want to not have to spend so much time doing it. Why is that? Because it should dump more on my NAS. Okay, so I have to press a button to create the text file first. Okay, which I did earlier and it didn't do. So now I can write to it. Okay, so now all my timestamps are out, which is great. Fantastic. What what else is this? We are salvaging parts from the I'm still not building an engine, right? I'm still just building a game, but I'm salvaging parts from the previous project that makes sense, and then kind of fixing them up. So let's see if this works now. I already have a custom class which frees resources. So if you go to auto release, this is basically like a unique pointer for integer handles. We could probably constrain this with a concept to make it like is integer, but for now it doesn't really matter. This automatically handles like unique ownership of a handle. So like a Windows angry like handle or module or Linux socket or file descriptor. Yeah, so that's already there. And we use that in a few places. Okay, let's see if we can get this mother flipper building. Oh, I've got a lot of... Oh, I've used some reinterpret casts it is not happy about. Right. Missing field initializers. Interesting. Okay, so that'd be on line 122. I need the CBCLS extra. So where does... Ugh. CBCLS extra. That is after the windproc function. I'm going to CBCLS extra equals. And where do I want that? CBCLS. Oh, I've got Copilot on. Oh, naughty me. Don't be one using AI with this. I want to suffer through writing it all out myself. Yep, this is the new series. It's not the fact that they're kind of shit outputting errors, it's the fact that they output a lot of errors. Do you know what I mean? Like the information you need is there. The error itself is not like technically bad. It's just that there's too much of it in a lot of the cases. Well, no, because I do. It might. I don't know. Probably not shocks you that I write a lot of code outside of these streams, and I want Copilot on. I write more code not streaming than streaming, so my default is to have Copilot on. I don't know why it's been H icon, H cursor, H background. Okay, dot H. It's interesting that Windows is very forgiving on this. Sorry, H, not H. Oh, nearly there. So we want instance before icon, and then LSPZ menu name. I think that was the last one. LSPZ menu name equals. Nope. I was wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm making this all up as I go along. Right, okay. Keep that. I've got a feeling we have two. Don't we have to create a dummy one of these somewhere? Yes, okay. Look, what do I need? So let's put that in there. Put that in there. Put that in there. Style stays the same. So this becomes this. And what would I call this? The wind class. Got it. Okay, sorry. Play Windows code. What a nightmare. Yeah, it's Clang D of him. Yeah, I mean, GPL has stack trace. Like, we're going to be using it. You'll see when we eventually throw an exception. Like, we'll have a full stack trace. These errors are just, I don't know, differences between MSVC and G++. So I'm missing, oh my goodness. Oh, look at all those fields I'm missing. Oh, I am thinking I might cheat for that one. Oh, it's not const anyway. Okay, fine. So let's do that. And then do that. And then QA Q. Oh, sweet little macro for you there. All right, there you go. I prefer using the aggregate initializer, but I like this will not this shouldn't complain about all the other missing members because it will just zero initialize them all. So it's not too bad. I think it's worth kind of going through the pain because this is real software engineering, right? As in like porting stuff, integrating stuff, making changes. I don't know. Like I have no qualm about kind of going through the mechanics of this. Again, it's a chance to go through the code and see what we had and discuss some of the differences between the compilers. I think there is some merit in doing this. If you don't think so, then I apologize. Again, monitor info, we can do the same here, I think, because it's not const. The reason to use the aggregate initializer rather than this kind of trick is to make it const, but seeing as I'm not making these const anyway, that should probably be const, but I'm going to hope we're going to get NRVO anyway. So, okay. It should build quicker than the last one as well, because the last one had some real slow compilation times. I'm interested into all these reinterpret casts. I suspect they're in a template function. They are. Okay, that's why they're repeated so often. Okay, fine. And then 431. Same gubbins here. I will try and go do a little bit of a top-to-bottom code review of this, just so we can kind of see what all the code is about. But I just want to get it building first. My system specs are Ryzen 9 950 X3D SPS doodad, 5060 Ti, and 256 gig of DDR5. Of which WSL gets half of that. So this within our development environment here, we have 120 gigs of RAM, which should be enough. Okay, this is fun. Okay, fine. I'm glad I stretched for that because it's made my life a lot easier. Toxic waste, thank you. At the moment, it's none, but it will be just a sort of standard, I don't know, early 2000s era or 2010s era shoot FPS. I'm thinking kind of like Halo 3, but without any of the polish. It's a CMake, but I have a top level make file which drives the CMake, right? If you look at my make file, it's just running the CMake commands within the Docker container, but typing this out every time is a massive pain. So I just have a CMake file that automates it. Sorry, I have a make file that automates it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? We can make it that competitive. Well, no, it's make to CMake to Ninja, right? I'm not using make under as the generator. Okay, fine. Let's have a look at this. Is an actual error now. So this is so sorry. Okay, so you have to resolve OpenGL functions because Windows only ships with OpenGL 1.1, but you obviously want to use something newer than that. So you are kind of tasked with finding where all those functions are. Something, make sure you get them from the right driver, something, I'm not an expert in it. But in order to find where those are, you need to make a wiggle context first and some other chuff. But basically, I have this resolve GL function, right? So this is a templated function which takes something that takes a function and a reference to a string, it can't be a string view unfortunately, and calls wiggle get proc address and basically says, hey Windows, I know you know where this function is. Why don't you tell me where it is? I know you know. And then this stamps it into, this is a reference into the output. So I can pass in, sorry, I'm not passing in a function address. I'm passing in what is effectively a function pointer, right? This perform wiggle create context is a, you can see here, it's a Win API function pointer. So I'm kind of curious why this doesn't work. Yeah, don't compare yourself to me because I've been doing this for a long time. Also, I still make a lot of mistakes. I would aspire to be better than me because I should probably be better than I am. Yeah, if the old stream is all available, the old project is still available on YouTube, and you can go and watch it. And the first few streams will cover all of this in more detail. This is largely sort of the mechanics of figuring it out. But like I said, I will try and top to bottom how the code works. My advice for anyone learning any language is just write lots of code in that language. Just write lots of code. The only way to learn is to just write lots of code and make mistakes and try and figure them out. This should work on a laptop. I'm not going to be doing anything fancy. I'm going to be using modern OpenGL, like 4.6 and ASDO and stuff like that. But it's not going to be great. It's not going to be super resource intensive. There's going to be no path tracing. There's not going to be any massive, huge, sprawling levels. I think. So this is an interesting point actually, and something I kind of chose to do last stream, and I think I'll do this stream as well. Is I will sacrifice some performance for ease of development. So there are some things which will not be the most bleeding edge optimal way of doing it, but it'll be easier for me to kind of write to maintain, and those are some concessions I will make. No, I mean you could maybe use OpenGL, like a compute shader, to do it. But again, way out scope for this. Well, I don't want. I don't know because I want OpenGL 4.6. So, but I don't know what's in OpenGL 32. Again, I just let Wiggle handle it for me. Okay, so what's the actual error here? Cannot error cast between incompatible function types from long int function pointer to hugleruk hood. Sure, but why is that an incompatible type? Because but it's all templated, right? So yeah, I can see that the function takes. Yeah, you're right. Why does this from long? But it's reinterpret casting, so it shouldn't matter, right? The whole point is that this will just return. What does this actually return? A wing diapi. No, sorry, never mind. It returns a proc, which is I can't remember what the definition of that is. That is strange. I can't understand why that wouldn't reinterpret casting because they're both pointers? Question mark. Well, I suppose that's a. I wonder if I need to make this an out pointer rather than a reference and then cast between the pointer types. I wonder if that's just suppose we can test this by doing t star f equals reinterpret cast t address. Yeah, I mean it's almost certainly going to be UB anyway. I suppose the actual technical C string. That might actually be the non-UB way of doing it. Like here is a thing where I want to store a pointer, like resolve the pointer and copy it over. I'm gonna it should be start lifetime ads, right? But what are you gonna do? In this case, it makes no difference. Address of means you're guaranteed to get the address of it, whereas if type T, because you can overload the address of operator in C++, you rarely, I mean, I do in some places, you rarely should. So if you do ampersand, you will call that overloaded operator, whereas stood address of is guaranteed to get the address of it. Yeah, you could always cast avoid map. That was my next thought. The actual place I do this is here. So I overload the address of operator on auto release. So it means I can pass it. It means I can basically, when I take the address of this object, I actually get the address of the thing it's wrapping, which means it's easier to interface with certain C APIs. I'm not saying you should do it, but I chose to do it. I think Vulkan is probably like, ooh, linker errors. Nice. We're getting there. I probably don't link against OpenGL. I think Vulkan is like the project after the next project, so 2027. No, this will take us through 2026. Then 2027, so 2028 might be Vulkan. I plan on doing a project a year. What's the? Is it just GL in Windows? Give me a second. I can't remember what it is. OpenGL 32. I think somebody mentioned so earlier. You can't bitcast with a pointer. Bitcast is if like I want to float and I want to copy it over an int. Start lifetime as is the one that handles pointers, but despite it being in 23, no one's implemented it yet. I mean, builds mate, ship it. Okay, fine. So what? Like main, I guess. Graphics window. Where's my autocomplete gone? How am I supposed to do this? Right, what does any of this do? How does one? These all no, probably not. Auto window equals UFPS. I'm glad all the autocomplete's gone. That's real nice. Window mode. I'm not path around full screen today. 1920 U by 1080 U. The X coordinate will need to be 1920U so you guys can see it, otherwise it'll appear off screen, and then the Y coordinate will be U. I mean, it doesn't do anything yet, but it will soon. Okay, fine. So I need to whilst with well, we need to do window dot swap, right? That's a given. To swap the back buffer with the front buffer, and then we're going to need to include graphics, OpenGL. I like how I've got LSP, but just not autocomplete. That's grand. That GL clear. I don't know. Sure. Cleat? Not quite. Too many. Clear F? Ugh. I hate everything. Oh, don't I have to say what I'm clearing? Yes, sorry. I'm going to be reusing bits of the engine. And then const auto event equal. Actually, no, I need a window dot so pump an event, and then I want to do while event. Which is a nice way of doing this. Just we'll drain all the events, and then if hang on, wait a minute. I've got what's the miserable code? This hold on. It's been so long since I've done it. Is it in main? No, it's in game. I'm on the wrong project. Hold on one moment, caller. I could have actually opened it up by this time. Here we go. Third visit, obviously. Auto arg. Using t equals std decay t decal type arg. I think C++23 has a slightly better way of doing this, and I will look it up in a minute, but if const expr std same as t key event. So this is basically how I'm going to like check what kind of event I get back, because basically I get back a variant, and variants, whilst a great primitive, working with them is a little bit painful in C++. You don't get proper sum types like you do in Rust, because they're a language feature, not a library feature. Sorry, they're a library feature, not a language feature, which is a little bit annoying, but hey ho, it's what we got. Events, key events.h. I am recording macro. We should run that. Let me save it first so we can undo it. Oh, it did. It didn't do anything interesting. And welcome back. We're doing variant misery. Key. Surprised this oh, I don't actually have to pass it the thing I want to visit. Oh, it comes back as an optional. Sorry. We're going to visit it, handle it, and then pump the next one, and then go back around and see if we've got it. And then if this is the case, we're just going to... nope, that's not going to work for us. Auto running equals true. While event and running. So if we get any key press, we're just going to bomb out. I think that's... Variant is it has to hold one of the it's a type which has to hold one of these types. Okay, it means I can stick either a stop event, a key event. It could be any type: int, float, string, vector of... Needs a vector of balls then. Heresy, vector of whatever, and it'll have to be one of those. Go on, AC. What do you want? Please explain. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's a type-safe union. So if you're familiar with unions in C++, in C, it's a type-safe one of those. So it means it through something magic called type erasure, it will remember the type that you've put in here, which is quite handy. And then you can basically withdraw. You can basically query: does this variant hold that type? And that's with, I think it's got some horrible name like holds alternative. So I could do like if event dot autocomplete's back. Oh no, where is it? Is it sorry, event here has value. I thought it was holds alternative. Unless that's the free function. Oh, it might be, sorry, hang on. If holds alternative, there you go. And then like UFPS key event event, right? If that, and then I could have a bunch of these, and that's like perfectly fine. It's not fine, but like is what it is. Or you can get it by the index. There's a couple of ways of doing it, but basically visit is the idea that you kind of just bundle up all the things that you might want to. It uses the visitor pattern, and it basically says like, you know, if it's this, then call into this. If it's this, it calls into this. And then this just uses it. It's a little bit egregious to use. I use a little bit of templates magic to basically make it a little bit easier. But this will, when this passes in, right, this function will effectively do this for me, or something similar, and then pass it into this lambda. But because this is a template, it's a forwarding reference, but it's a template, this auto will become the type that it's holding. And then I can basically say in context for time, hey, if this is a key event, do this. Like, is it better or worse? I don't know, but it's kind of code you only hope to write once. Should it be compile time? Right, this will be compile time, right? Because this compile time, this knows what type it's got in it through type erasure. I guess the actual intricacies of how it resolves it, I don't know. Like, I treat this as a bit of a black box. All I know is that this will compile out to basically a version of this lambda with this, and a version of lambda with all the others, and it'll make sure it calls the right one. So yeah, that's kind of it. Okay, so let's see if we can run this, and then we will go back through, and I'm going to be optimistic. There's a window. It crashed. We got a window. And it crashed. But we got a stack trace, which is nice because I have my own exception type, which when you construct it, grabs the current stack frame using std stack trace, right? And then this has on the what method, this calls that. So this is how we get it. So we can see here it came out through the main CRT into the main this is a Windows setup chuff, right? Then it goes into main, then we get into the window class, then we went into resolve wiggle functions, and then it couldn't resolve a function. Terminate called off throwing instance of UFS session. Could not register dummy window. That's concerning. No, I'm not using CP trace. Probably should actually have dropped this frame as well, because is it interesting to know that it's the ensure? Don't know. Anyway. I prefer Pragma once. I think it's less typing and less prone to mistakes, because you will almost certainly copy and paste your if end def undef if else whatever it is and forget to change it, whereas Pragma once is kind of just fire and forget. The only thing is, like, I've not got a great debugging setup at the moment. I'll just let everyone know I can't use VS Code because it embeds the dwarf debugging information rather than the PDB. So I will have to use GDB, but the MinGW version of GDB does not support the plugins I usually use, so it will be pretty much raw GDB when we need to use it. TB, like, I need to figure that out. Yeah, maybe rad. I don't know. I promise though, like, I actually quite like GDB, which is not something people often say. I have a lot of muscle memory for GDB, for better or worse, so I don't mind using it. Vanilla GDB is a massive pain. Anyway, right, let's have a look at this. So whoa. So it was the resolve. Oh, this is in order to use wiggle, you must first find the wiggle functions, obviously. So this is, but you can't. So there's an interesting, like, curio with Windows and OpenGL, in that in order to create the window, in order to use OpenGL, you must first resolve the functions, but you can't resolve the functions until you have a window. But you can't create an OpenGL window until you have the functions. So you have to create what's called a dummy window, which allows you just enough access to resolve the first few functions you need, then you throw it away and resolve the rest. Yeah. So I wonder why this is. So we did change this, because I did remove some of the other bits. Let me just check I'm not going mad. And QA to the end after that. I just want to go back to the ones that I had, which, like, just a few that I know worked. A bit of a shame if this is the case. I know. Indeed. Well, and this is now not going to be fun, but it was going to be fun at some point. Called after throwing, could not register. How strange. I think we're going to need some more information. This is where I find out my entire system is not going to work. And I have to hastily change the build system for the next stream. You what? What's the doc say? Like, because 0, as we all know, is error success. Right. Whoa. I've just realized something here. If I'm right, return value. Oh no, if the function fails the return value, I'm sorry, I misread that. Sorry. If the function fails the return value 0, to get extended error information, call get last error, right? So we ensure it's not 0, and we call get last error, and it's like nothing bad happened. Yeah, Quecko, that was literally my just thought when I was reading it. I was like, how has this ever worked? But no, it definitely says here, curiouser and curiouser. No more barrels for now. I might try and I might put a sneaky Easter egg barrel in it when we start making a level. If you want to use OpenGL, do not do it this way. I would definitely suggest taking some pre-built stuff off the shelf because you'll be spending a lot of time doing this otherwise. But I have chosen to suffer for my art. There's a bang ret there that will help you with that. If someone wants to kindly pop that in the chat. Also great for engagement. So this could be wrong. We could trace this through. Oh, hang on. I might have a copy and paste error here. Hang on. Hold on one moment, caller. Oh no, I do pass it in the instance. That should be that should be that as well. That is definitely not the issue. Oh, I would definitely recommend if you're a beginner and you like learning Vim is a task in itself. So like learning that alongside trying to learn programming, I think is quite a lot. I would definitely recommend you just take Visual Studio, VS Code, or anything else and take it off the shelf. Yeah, exactly. If you want to just learn coding, like minimize that barrier to entry. Right, where am I going wrong here? Right, I don't understand why this is not working. I pass in this thing, a pointer in the class, blah, blah, blah. If the function succeeds, the return value is a class atom, obviously, one of my favorites, that uniquely identifies the class being registered. This atom can only be used with blah, 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 blah. If the function fails, the return value is 0, right? So I need to ensure to get extended called get last error. Can I? Right, I've drawn the right runes, but I don't understand why it's not. Please redraw, redraw, CS ONDC. Definitely no proc. Give it the instance. Resolve W. So this takes our top level instance from the WC, which. So this one's fine, right? Just FYI, everyone. This one's it's cool with this one. I mean, we could change it to the A1 if we are concerned, but is there a note on this? No, because if you see here, like you'll get an alias whichever one you've got, and I don't think I don't specify the Unicode preprocessor constant, unless it's done it for me. But I didn't see that. And well, okay, fine. I guess this is gonna be the rest of the stream now. I was trying to figure this one out. Why does it like this one? Like specifically, it's okay with this one. Yeah, I think let's rule out that for a start. So let's just. I already have registered class A here. But you're right, let's, in case it is this one. But like, I'm just curious, like if like the rest of it is fine. No, because it's returning 0. I know this is stupid. I really just want to, I need to see it for myself. There's bang theme as well, if you're curious. No, C++17 guaranteed that so it's still implementation specific what the order evaluation is of function arguments, but C++17 introduced the fact that they couldn't be like weirdly interleaved, which basically removed the need for unique make unique, as in the problem make unique was solving. But it doesn't in any way standardize the evaluation order, but it does prevent like I can't remember what it's called, not customization points. There's like synchronization points or something where it could technically have interleaved some of the instructions. I can't remember exactly, but that was the C++17 change. Oh, hang on, have I got a sequencing? And you're right, it was sequencing because I bet it was evaluating this before this. So good call on that. So at least I've got an error code now, which is good. Thank you, Rand. That was the word I was looking for. I knew there was some standardese word I was missing. Yes, it was correct because it was evaluating this before it was evaluating this because GCC evaluates arguments right to left in a function, and this is a function, not a macro. So it's like, oh, I'll call this first. Oh, there's no error, and then it will call this. So obviously you can't guarantee the order of evaluation of arguments. Why would anyone standardize that? Well, I mean, it's implementation defined. Right, 1410. Was that a decimal? Not in that one. Class already exists. Queco, do you know the solution? And why is it only happening now? Have I used dummy window somewhere else? No. I've accidentally reused the name. Oh, how annoying. How utterly frustrating. What did I call this on my previous one then? Just window class. Oh, how frustrating is that? Cool. I didn't see it, but if other people got it right, thank you. And if you got it right way before I figured it out, I apologize for ignoring your comment. I hope you weren't shouting too much at your screen. Yeah, sorry, I completely missed that. It's quite a lot of people. This is a popular stream, so there's more chat than I'm used to. So apologies if I missed that. Please don't get frustrated and leave. I do try and keep up with the chat. Boom, there we go. Done. OpenGL window. It does not recognize my key input. That's exciting. Oh, and it's locked. It's locked the mouse as well. That's grand. I can't. Let's kill that. Why is it not getting my input though? Because it should be going via like window proc. Right. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to top to bottom this code, write some comments, figure out what we're doing, and then figure out why that is happening. I'm just going to leave this as is. Going to leave that like that. I think just. Yeah, good numbers. 240 on YouTube, 50 on Twitch. Well, I got my thing says 50 on Twitch, which is what I choose to believe. Okay, right. Let's see what this, because I want to make some changes to this code. I don't want it to lock the mouse to. I want that to be configurable because it's a massive pain. Interesting. I set running to false though, right? And this captures everything by reference. We could just UFPS log info stopping. See that in the logs. Okay, let's have a look at window. And let's see what's done. So the header file is pretty simple. You can get an event. So the window is the window class represents an actual. Sorry, I could actually type this out as we go along. So represents an actual Windows window. Okay. Oh, do I just break out of the... Yes, you're right. I just break out of this. You're right. This should be... I see exactly what you mean. Sorry for me being so dim. Good job. So this represents a Windows window. You can ask it for events because it has the event handler in it. And these are like... Whilst these are our own abstraction of the events, they're like keyboard inputs and mouse inputs and stuff like that. Swap just swaps the back buffers, so when we do double buffered rendering, we just basically tell Windows, hey, like sort those. Get a native handle out. This is something I have in a lot of my classes, is like the escape hatch for the thing you're actually kind of abstracting over. Get the very much difference between the render window and the render size and the window size, because those might be different. Imagine if you are rendering at 1080p, but you made it full screen. Like the window will be on mine like 4K, but it will still render at 1080p. So those are different and subtly so. And these all sorts of manner of miserable bugs. Set the title, sure. You can get and set the window mode, and then basically a bunch of auto-release stuff around the Windows gubbins, right? The Hwind and the Hudisk, the width and the height and the mode. Simple two-string for the window mode. And that's basically it. What I want actually though is auto-release is my creation, yeah. It literally just wraps an integer handle. Well, it's templated on should be an integer handle or some sort of non-pointer type handle with a known invalid type, and then it's pretty standard. Like we'll release it on when it goes out of scope, it is by itself not copyable, but it is movable or has move operators, and you can swap it, reset it, get it, cast it, all that good stuff. Well, you should use string view when you don't need to guarantee the null terminator, right? It's all to do with the use. It's all to do with the usage site of it. If it's going to go anywhere near a C API, right, which is why set title here doesn't take a string view, because this will go into a Windows API. So it needs a C string. When we get the C string view and hopefully C++29, then we can just use that everywhere. Okay, right. So then the window class itself handles all the window setup, the Win32 window setup, that's a mouthful, and all the OpenGL setup. So we create the window, we get the rect, which is the Win32. In fact, actually, this is going to tidy up some of this. This is my preferred start is now this. Auto this equals this. So change up some of this as we go along. Window has the create window XA with all this gubbins in it, and then this goes into an auto handler with a registered destructor. Oh, that's the other thing the auto handles is custom destructors. So when it goes out of scope, it will automatically call destroy window. Yeah, I mean, we might try this up as we go along, and then we show the window, we move it around if we need to, and then basically this is all the OpenGL setup, right? So as we saw earlier, we have to create the dummy window so that we can pull out the what do we have to do? Just try to remember now. Set the pixel format, make current. Okay, then we can resolve the two wiggle functions that we need, because we always get make current. And so that's all that does. And then from there we can call init OpenGL, which basically sets the pixel format and some other stuff. So we're using double buffering. We want all the acceleration, fully accelerated, the depth of the color, the number of bits in the color buffer, the number of bits in the depth buffer, the number of bits in the stencil buffer. I'm not using MSAA on this because I'm given to understand it doesn't work too well with a deferred renderer, so we'll probably use FXAA. So memory allocation, I will probably just be using like the standard primitives like vector and map, well, sorry, not map and flat map and stuff like that. If there comes a point where it needs optimizing, I'll have a look at it, but by and large, I will just be using like the standard primitives. And then we have to set a load of other wiggle rubbish. So here we set the version, so we're going to be using 4.6. And then we make it current. It has to be the current one. And then we resolve all the OpenGL functions. So this uses this X macro thing. So it basically says for each of the members in that big macro list, call resolve WGL function on it with the type and the name, and then that makes them all inline and basically just sticks them somewhere so that we can reference them later, which is nice. Then we set up some debugging, so we're using the OpenGL debug message callback. So this gets called with this. Again, I'm a big fan of exceptions, and I think this is an absolutely excellent showcase of that, because at some point the OpenGL drive will be like, you got an error. So I'll be like, cool, throw it, and then it will unwind the stack and call up to a point where I can capture it, and then I can see the full basically stack trace that led up to the OpenGL function that failed. If we need an arena allocator, I'll do it, but I've got no kind of plans. I want to keep the code like reasonably performant but simple, but I'm not super hyper optimizing for every single like cycle out of it. I still got to be able to maintain it and extend it and develop it. Almost a surface exception, I didn't notice that. Then we enable some more GL gubbins, set the mode, get some vendor information, which we can see when we print out. I think I fixed that so I can go back. And then pump events basically peaks at the message, translates and dispatches it. This is a very common Windows paradigm. Pretty much all Win32 apps will do something like this. And then I stick it in a queue, and then I basically just pop those off and return them, and then swap call swap buffer, and updates. This is where it does the locking of the mouse, so I need to change that. So let's just change that super quick now. Verbal mouse locked equals false. So I'll introduce that, and then we're going to do bool mouse locked window, and then where's my constructor when it's at home? There you go. Bool mouse locked. Mouse locked. Mouse locked. Oh, change these while I'm here to my preferred style. Avoid that narrowing. I think I can just do this. Yeah, don't know why I put those in brackets. It's not like it's a simple allocator, but it's like, how do you integrate that, right? Because everything has to be aware of that. Presumably you have to hand out some sort of handle to it. It has to be reclaimed. I prefer RAI style primitives anyway, so I like to know that when something goes out of scope. So it's, I'm not saying I'm not going to use it. I'm just saying like it's not as easy as just sort of hash include allocator like Arena, right? Okay, I mean, if it is, then you are more than welcome to use it. Like I say, we'll just see where we get to when we get there. I'm kind of like having a little bit of not thinking too much about the architecture. I'm kind of happy to be a little bit organic. Not that I'm thinking about it, but I would like networking to be the next project. I think definitely not for this, but maybe possibly in scope for the next one. As the renderer kind of matures and we can reuse more and more code and it starts looking a little bit more like an engine, I would like to introduce networking at some point. I've been doing C++ professionally for like over a decade now, but never in the games industry. So I've never worked in a games company. So this is all just me kind of figuring out as I go along. One has windsocked before, so I am aware of the misery. Got to get those headers in the right order. Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it as part of this. I would want to know we're using networking and do that from the start, so it's definitely out of scope of this. Nice. Okay, fine. I think we're kind of like there for this. We've got the window, which is pretty sweet. I guess I don't need that. And then we just get a queue of events. So the win proc, this is the standard Windows callback thing for handling events. And I just register one of these, and then it just sticks stuff in this queue. Cool. Okay, so I guess we should tidy some of this up. Let's have a look. I did delete something I didn't mean to commit earlier. When I first set up this project, I accidentally committed an executable, which is absolutely terrible of me. So let's just remove my mistake. What have we got here? So we're gonna have probably the event code is reasonably self-contained. Mouse locking defaults to false, so I don't actually have to change anything. Oh, actually, yeah, so I don't have to change anything. So I should have, I think it's hidden, but I still have, I suppose Alt tabbing counts as a mouse press. I briefly saw the mouse, so I think that's fine. Okay, cool. So let's have a look where we are. I think we'll get this committed, and then we'll start thinking about building out some of the OpenGL primitives, so hello triangle. I think we might maybe at least start doing some of the shader compilation stuff. I want to use vertex pulling for this as well, so we're going to need to maybe change some of the buffer classes and stuff like that. Okay, so let's add that. Let's close this down, and actually, hang on, before I do that, let's add third party files. Oh, Daz, don't I owe you a comment somewhere? Where would you like your comment? And what would you like it to be? Did you claim comment or commit? Right after main. Outrageous. AC's redeeming the commit message. Fine. Okay. Go on then, Daz. What's your commit message going to be? I reserve the right to not include it if I think it's outrageous. You want your comment to be comment, or you just answering the question? First stream done. Nice. Go on, AC. What would you like your commit message to be? Oh yes, what a great idea. I love it. What is the Discord link? Can someone type bang Discord so I can copy it? Thank you. Is that copied? Apparently I cannot copy from this tool. Right, fine, I'll go find it elsewhere. But at least I got the engagement, which is the most important thing. Create invites, edit invite link, expires, never. Any link. Right. We'll add you to the. I can't create empty commits, or at least not as much as I can. So I'll add your commit here. So commit. Do I feel obligated to at least have some software engineering? I'm gonna put your. Where am I going to put it? AC15CR commit message, and then in brackets what we actually did, which was update config. I suppose that probably should be the other way around, but whatever. I reserve the right to change my mind as I go along. If it gets out of hand, I'll just stop doing it. Do you know what I mean? Also, I plan on that's not only per stream. It's gonna be like once a month each of those redeemable, so it shouldn't get too out of hand. Gotta get in there quick, around. Okay, fine. So let's do. Where's the source CMake file? Hang on. So enter. Select line by line. I don't want that. Is there a split in this? Sorry, I've been really anal about my commits, but I'll start off strong. Hey, here we go. Right, I just want events. Thank you. That was painful. Add events. And then add that. Add window and OpenGL. And commit integrate changes. Okay, right. It's pretty good place for where we're starting, I think. What got 20 minutes left? I think we should start building out some of the OpenGL chuff. So I guess the first one's going to be shader. Just trying to remember if there's anything else I need other than that. Let's start with this. Source graphics shader.h. Okay. Do I want to rewrite this from scratch, or do I want to just copy what I had before? We've got the debug callback. That's already there. We can, because you still need a single VAO in order to vertex pull. Yeah, don't you just need one for it to work? I think shader's going to be coming first, like shader code first. I also want to. I called it material last time. That was a mistake. I definitely want program. Actually, let's make things a little bit easier, because let's game source graphics shader, and then source graphics. Don't know why I quit near him. Never quit near him. Right. Let's have a quick look. Let's do a review of this and see where we get to, because maybe not all of this is needed. Well, not necessarily building. I didn't build an engine last time, I would say, but I'm reusing parts from the last one, like this class here, but kind of reviewing it as we go along. I think this is kind of fine. I must have been able to provide a string pointer and a length if I use string view. I guess we'll find out. But this is pretty much how I don't need that. I don't need that. I do need that. I'd say this is pretty much like a fair wrapper around a shader, right? Give it some source and a type. I'm not planning on using like geometry shaders or anything like that, but it would be easy to extend to support that. Copy game source graphics shader.cp source graphics shader. Okay. Ooh, errors. Okay, fine. Let's. That should alleviate a lot of them. Game UFPS G. Okay. Okay, and then utils exception. Okay, so we have a toNative which takes the shader type and converts it into some glenum, being angry uppercase GL vertex shader or fragment shader. We take these, we create, again, we use our auto release stats, doesn't need to be namespaced, around GL create shader, and then we do all this gubbins where that's it. I provide the shader source as a pointer to a pointer and a pointer to a size, which means I can use string view. Get the result, and then obviously you have to include formatter. There you go. You nailed it. Yes, Jax, I 100% agree. I'm kind of looking forward to going over some of the mistakes that I knew I made last time and like fixing them. Quiche, hello. Yeah, so this compiles them, right? This is this geocompile shader. You get a handle to the shader, and then you compile it. What I want to do this time though is, I don't know if this is good. or bad OpenGL, but I want to give it a name. But I can't remember how you do it. I literally had this up the other day. I was like, I need to remember this. Label. GL object label. And I can do that for a sampler, a program, a shader. Nice. Okay. So let's go to the Welsh town names. I'm glad we're going to get to open one of these. Do one of these. And let's do GL object label proc GL object label. So this is the one advantage of this X macro is I stick this in here once, and it means I guarantee to get an inline variable of this type with this name, and then it will automatically pick that up and resolve it in the Windows code. So I literally just have to name it once. So it's kind of a nice way of resolving the functions. And then if I go back to shader, I think I'm going to do like stud string view. I think you should have to give this a name, right? Yes, there is a pointer, but I can't remember which one what that does. So this is what I'm looking at, right? So you've got object label, right? So label a named object identified within a namespace. So the idea of doing this is that debugging tools will then give it when it references this, and I think as well through the debug callback, you'll get a meaningful name. So I don't know what you have to. Here you go. So you basically say identifier. So you say this is a sampler, and then you give it the name of the object to label, which I think is effectively the handle of the thing you get back because it's a uint, and then the label. But I don't understand what the difference is to this, like a pointer identifying as. Oh, this is only for GL sync, by the way. That's it, which I don't plan on using. I'm just gonna triple buff the shit out of it and hope for the best. Okay, fine. So now, in theory, once we get to the end here, I should be able to do GL. See, that function now appears as well within the autocomplete, which is nice. And then so this is like GL shader. I'm gonna guess it's handle. And then length then name. Wow, that's interesting. So length name dot data. Notice it has data and not C stroke because you can't guarantee it's null terminated. But luckily for us, you give it a length and a size, which is the perfect use case for string view. Okay, so that should give us some. I wonder if actually I want to do that as soon as I've created it. Because if there are any issues, whatever here, and it does, I mean, I know this has a separate way of checking for errors, but you as soon as you've created something, you want to give it a name, right? Right? And then, so I think that's basically all we need for this. So let's just see if this builds. Okay, fine. At least it compiles. And then So can we, have I got like a super simple shader I can just like, so, ooh. It's going to open up everything apart from the thing I want. What is going on? There you go, right. So I forgot to do this before it started, remove the assets. So I've got a new assets structure rather than having a grab bag of like things. They're going to go in each their own directories. Each of these have a .git ignore in them. So I can selectively decide what I do and don't want to distribute on Git. That's basically it. So let's see if we can put in I think I've got a simple shader somewhere from the previous project. Give me a second. Actually, hang on. It's probably already on my. Let's copy game assets. Was it like simple frag? Assets, shaders. I don't know how simple this is. Not simple at all. I probably want one of the post-processing ones, actually. I just want to be honest, I just want to build it. It doesn't actually matter what we're going to do with it. Because, yeah, we have none of this set up, and all this is going to go away because we're going to do vertex pulling. But I guess let's just see if we can actually compile it. And, yeah, we'll be fine. So let's... I'm gonna do. So let's see. Main. Where do we run this from? We run this from here. So I'm just gonna hard code this. It's not great, and none of this will be bundled. Oh, is this gonna get bundled with the release? I might. Not sure if I'm gonna have time for that. We'll see. Cube.frag. It doesn't really matter as long as it is valid code. So let's do auto simple vert equals u FPS shader u FPS shader type vertex what are the other arguments? Okay, oh shit, I've got to do all the file reading and stuff. Okay, actually, change my mind. Not going to comment those now. What's like the simplest GLS shader we can have, and I'll just hard code it. Const expr auto sample shader equals, hang on, can I make that a string view as well? And have I got those the wrong way around? No. Right. But something like that. Is that like the simplest shader we could write? Oh, you're right. I do need to use English rules. Thanks. I need to include string view as well. That's an anonymous namespace. Ain't no one needing that symbol. Using using namespace the literals. Yeah. And then into here goes sample shader, and then we can call this sample shader SV. Doesn't go away. Yes, I think I do have embed, but again, I'd quite like if people want to try this, not to have to worry about assets yet. Like putting out assets and stuff is going to be a whole thing on itself. The anonymous namespace just constrains this symbol to this translation unit. It means no one can extern sample shader anywhere. It just restricts it to the translation. It gives it internal linkage, if you want the technical term. Okay, why is it not like that? Also, before it complains, maybe unused. Who's to say? SV is just a string literal, which just converts it to a string view. It's not technically needed because there is an implicit cast from const char star to string view, but I kind of like doing it. I just think it makes it clearer. Why is it not like this? Also, it probably needs to be after the window is created anyway, isn't it? Otherwise, it's going to be like OpenGL who? What have I misspelt? Type in the shader path. I've got the shader there. Someone says I got a typo, but I can't. I literally cannot see it. Oh yes, sorry. No, it's sample shader. It's why is it saying I can't convert shader type to that? Enum class shader type. You have shader type. Vertex. What? No, it's do check. It's if it's. I do make typos all the time. String view. You can't find. Oh, have I got it the wrong way around? Yeah. Now I have a typo. Right, here we go. Okay, that I mean it didn't throw everything up in the air. So presumably if I create a syntax error, this will there you go. Failed to compile shader vertex. And I get a little error, which is nice. Okay, let's comment this out. I think this is good, but don't go away yet because we've got to show you the fancy new release system that we've got. I didn't get the name. No, I did notice that. I don't know if it's just because of the. It's because I throw from here. I guess I should actually include the name myself, right? That is a good point. Good point. But because this is not coming from OpenGL, it won't know to attach this name. So I guess it's kind of it's a bit of a damp squib doing it, using that as an example of naming the labels, but we'll get there. Making a game from scratch. It's going to be good. It's going to be good fun. Right. So add new OpenGL function. Add shader class commit integrate changes, commit. I think I'm not going to. I will commit the assets, but I won't commit these. Commit, add asset file structure. Discard that, and then I think as well I had git rm source utils. Hello, star. And then fg. Let's just check I didn't not actually accidentally building those. I'm not, which means I don't think I'm using them in the tests, but I better just. Oh, I am using them in the tests. Hang on. Git rm tests, hello tests, fg, sf, cmake tests. Got enough tests. Oh, I tested the formatter as well, by the way. If anyone's curious what that looks like, then you can check that it's tests. It prints it with both a freeform and member function. Yes, the code will be open source, yeah. What? Where's source cmake? Oh, great. Oh, it's because you have to have a. Do you have to have a single file to get started with? I don't think this will build. I don't think. Can you create an empty library without? Ah, and this hello was pervasive. I didn't realize quite. Okay, that's fine. So. Yeah, okay, fine. So let's tag this with stream 1. And then we'll push that up. So then let me get a new window. Hang on. Okay, so we push that up, and now what we do is we go to the GitHub page, and then we create a pull request because we're going full enterprise on this. You can select which thing you want it to auto bump as well. So we'll go create pull request. And then it will automatically build it. So build it on Linux, which is nice. So this will go through, and you'll see here it pulls down. This is why I wanted a Dockerized build system, by the way. So this is all reproducible every time. So this will, we're gonna have to sit and watch this out to see it'll work. Come on. Right, okay, so it's going to build this. It's going to check out the code. It's going to do a compile, build it. It then... I do find the build a little bit slow on this. I don't know if it's parallelized or if I don't know if the Docker... I imagine the Docker container is not particularly meaty. So we will have to sit here and watch this, I'm afraid. But I want to go through the full... I want to go through the full deployment pipeline that we've got. Yeah, this is the build speed we had for the whole last project. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves and entertain yourselves. Or, well, it should all be integrated. Let me tell you. Right, then it uploads it to a Windows image, so I can actually test it on Windows. So again, build on Linux and test on Windows. So that's quite nice. So this will run the unit tests, so that's all fine. That's good. So we can go back to the PR, and then we can merge it. So we'll merge that in. Then once we've merged that, what happens then is that kicks off another action, which will auto bump the version number. So this will run a... Oh, no! Oh, God damn it. This worked absolutely perfectly every time I've tested it. This is the first time this has failed. And obviously it will be when there's like nearly 300 people staring at me. What do you mean no PR associated with this commit? Oh, that is so not only embarrassing, incredibly frustrating, because this has worked absolutely perfectly every other time. Just rerun it and hope for the best. Okay, fine. So what that has done is it is automatically bumped the version. So it's gone into the CMake file, found that version number, and auto-incremented it based on the major minor patch options that we set in the PR. And then it will then kick off a release build. So this will now do one final build. Because the version number is bumped, it uses CPAC, which means it's automatically got the new version number. This will stick it as a GitHub release and then ping Discord at the end. I'm curious to know why that failed. But if we go to if we go here now and look at commits, there is now a new CI bump version to 0.009. Yeah, it might have been too quick. I might need to see if I can add some sort of delay. But yeah, anyway, it means we don't have to bump version numbers anymore. We can do it automatically for us. Okay. So let's have a look at actions. So this is going to create the release. This unfortunately does have to do another build because it's got the new build number in it. So we do have to sit here and wait this again. But the CPAC at the end will pick that up, and it's all pretty fluid. Well, this is it. Yes. Demo all smoke and mirrors. I should have just had a pre-screen recording of this. But again, this is all kind of like lesson learned from the last project where we had to do a lot of this manually, like a huge amount of this manually. Exactly, yeah. So this is all pretty smooth now. So this is CPACing notes here. It's got the new version number in it. This is the key thing here. So this is creating the release. This will push to Discord. I didn't get a Discord alert, but I don't know if that's just because I don't know how these things work. Oh, did the ping come through? Nice. Okay, cool. Then you can click that, and that'll take you to the release, and then the release is here. So you can see this is the latest release now. I need to change this. In theory, the release message should be all the commits that were merged as part of it, but because I've introduced this CI bump, it's correct and it's taking the last set of commits, but it needs to take more than that. So I need to fix that, because that's a little bit annoying. Because it would be nice if this message here was all of this. So I need to figure that out. I don't know. There's loads. Why not anything, right? There's loads of stuff we can do to improve it. This was just me kind of like vibe coding actions over a few evenings, just trying to figure out what's what. There's always improvements we can make. But yeah, but that's now going to be the new workflow. So now I can go back here, and then I can go main. I can check out main, and I can pull down those changes, and we'll see here that yeah, we've got version 9. So starting from. There you go. We've got our bumped version now, which is nice. In theory, I've not tried it yet. Every time you bump one of the other numbers, it will zero out the other one. So if I bumped this would become 0. If I bumped this, these two would become 0. I've not tried it yet, but it'll be fun to try when we get there. Did I? Oh god, did I typo it? How embarrassing. I think I can change it because it's only local. It's not actually pushed that tag. Yeah, I don't know how to remove the other one, but worry about that later. But I do want to. The tagging is just for my own kind of like sanity, where I can see where the streams are. It's not actually useful really for anything because most things will be going via PRs. But at least I can kind of look back and see, oh, you know, this is where we finished each stream. Because there might be some. I suspect there might be some features that we don't finish in a stream, so I can at least see where we got to in each stream. Yeah, hang on. Ooh, before everyone disappears. Where's my window? So I should now be able to go to the project, and then we can close off some tickets. Basic window. Done, mate. Completed it. OpenGL window. Done, mate. Completed it. Hello Triangle next. I don't think I've got anything to give people, but let me have a look, because I think we are still within the month that I finished last time, but let me have a quick look. Yes, I've given out all the 10 memberships, I'm afraid, but soon, December, I will give out more free goodies. That's largely all I had. Hopefully that was a good, interesting, fun intro to the new project. I think I've met all my obligations for bits and stuff, but if I missed anything, let me know. No engine, just game. Do come back. Please come back. I measure my self-worth in the amount of views I get. I stream every Wednesday and Sunday pretty consistently. Obviously, sometimes things come up, but those are the 2 days I stream, 2 hours-ish a time, and we just make progress, like the relentless march for progress. We're going to be doing this for about a year. I suspect this is a 12-month project, if not slightly more. The last project was smaller and took 12 months, but we did a lot of the groundwork there. So yeah, we're going to be relentless march forward of progress. And that's it, basically. That's all I've got. We'll see you all Sunday, and we'll write some more C++ code. It'd be great. I'll see you. Do come along to Discord. I'm going to go and grab a beer and chill out on Discord for a bit. But yeah, otherwise I will see you all anon.